When that little light up there turns red, when that little light is red, that means we're live. I'll start the show because I'm on
Hey there.
last man standing.
Farms and we went to the Brian Killian signing. Remember that 2 years ago we went to that? So I tracked it all down. And
How are you?
Nice.
I wanted
Yep.
to make sure we
Good.
got somebody good buttoned down. All set. So we'll at least have we have a guest coming, and we might want to have us, we might want to let our guests sit between us so we can share our guests. Wait and see. The call came when you were at the end.
Well, I was just talking about that, but I can't answer. I wrote a couple of things. But my watch is still connected to us. I can't well, I know I put it back.
Yeah, sounds like you need to have a bunch of guests over. Hello there.
Hi.
Cindy handled that.
Good.
Sure.
Everyone's ready.
Hold on. Yeah, I didn't even recognize this guy. Almost got. Really? Almost got a haircut like me.
He slipped, so just keep going.
Good. Hi, how are you?
Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Good to have you.
I've been taking party over at Annie and Jean's for the little kids. Where they've been on the water slide and sliding all day. They've had a blast. So. It's great to see. He is going into second. Yeah. He's a big boy. Yeah. And Bella's going to go into first group.
Fully involved.
Kindergarten.
Oh, yeah.
I say that. I don't know how they're so cute.
I miss some of yours.
Oh, boy.
Do they call you over?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, you do.
Right.
And sometimes they're leaving time.
Exactly.
I just sent you that last.
Oh, okay.
Twice you double on cards, and then you each get a little bit.
I didn't even recognize you. It looks good.
Right, that's next.
Now, you still got too much up here.
He said, I'll help you out a little back there.
Still on that, Are you okay?
You're still on it.
Surprise. Yeah, I didn't guess.
I heard.
I didn't.
Call the meeting to order, and I ask our attorney, Brian, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk will call the roll.
Mosby,
Yes.
Cody, here. Smith, Spencer,
Yep.
Hand,
Here.
Roy.
Here.
May I have a motion to approve the minutes from the council meeting on 20 May 2025?
I make that motion.
Discussion? Take the vote.
Mosby,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Smith, Spencer,
Yes.
Hand,
Yes.
Roy.
Aye. We have one person for public forum, Mr. Joe Shura. The floor is yours.
Good evening. I want to thank the council and the mayor for all their good work. I'm here in particular to thank Mayor Mike Morrow for his help in the sediment issue we had in the marina. Several years ago, the Corps of Engineers built a dike at an angle in what we call the second chute, and they built a few more dikes up the Mississippi, and that funneled a bunch of sediment and sand into the marina. It really increased the cost of dredging through the harbor. The mayor and I met with several Corps personnel, and Mayor Morrow also had other communications with them, and they happily agreed to construct several dikes to prevent the flow of sediment into the marina. This outcome would not have been possible without Mayor Mike's Morrow's support. His experience, knowledge, and trust that the Corps had in him made them willing to support this project. I want to again thank Mike Morrow and the council for their support. I would also like to thank the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. And while I'm here, I also want to commend the Public Works Department. I think they're doing a really good job. Getting a lot of things done. Town looks good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe.
Very nice.
May I have a motion to approve the monthly invoices for payment and the treasurer's report?
Second.
Discussion? Take the vote.
Mosby,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Smith, Spencer,
Yes.
Hand,
Yes.
Roy.
Aye. Planning Commission, Alderwoman Donna Smith.
There was no meeting this month.
Aye. Public Works Director, Jake Weber.
All right. That's our latest project that we were just working on today, with help from our city manager, Vicky O'Neill, that helped us find some of the missing sewers that we were looking for, drains. So we located the one there, they got it opened up with help from the fire department today, and got that side flowing, and we looked at some old maps, and they found where they think there might be another one buried. We're gonna try to uncover it. Got some other options we're weighing out. We're just gonna do a little bit of time here, kind of see where the water starts flowing, make sure everything's functioning proper, and we're gonna put riprap in there too to press it out and make it look nice running through. And that is some riprap that kept washing out with the bigger storms next to Ojan, so we gave it a wash of our own and poured concrete over it, and hopefully it'll stick around a little longer this time. That's a big mudslide there, right by Corey's place down there across from housing. We've had, I guess they've had issues there before, there were test barriers and stuff, but I was told it was like a soapstone foundation or something on that, and a whole big chunk of it just slid out. And Rawlings has dug a lot of it out. They managed to salvage some of the old rocks and stuff that were in there. I don't know if we have a.
No, we don't have an answer.
Yeah, but they've got it all ripped out now, and I believe we're gonna get that concrete wash too, so just help secure it. That also came in, I remember right, about 7,000 under budget, wasn't it, under what you bid it at?
17 was bid and came in at 10.
Yeah, so we saved some money there. That's our latest catastrophe we've been trying to avert. Let's see, some of the bollards on the bike trail, we've had a few missing here and there. We tried to set it with just some of the rock that was there. They didn't really last too long. We went ahead and while we were washing the riprap, we went ahead and set a few posts there in concrete. So we did the sealing of the, I don't know what we call it the archery and public works. So we sealed that up, got it ready to go, and I put some primer on some of the rustier spots on the gazebo. We're going to try to paint the whole thing. The season was just getting away from us as far as that, so we addressed the worst spots and painted over them too. And the paint's holding up good. Got all the tape off, so knock on wood, it looks pretty good. I'm going to keep it on the wet as well. Those are some stumps that Pace brought us that he wanted to cut up to have the kids do some hopscotch or jump around playing on them at Houston Park. The video does all looks like they're already getting some action. So. And look at that guy. You can see my reflection in the door. Did such a good job on that. But that's the new Public Works door. We had one that was about falling in like the one over here. And we went ahead and got it painted up before the season got away and started rustling all that good stuff. So. The third ward, brush hog out. And that's what it looked like when he went down. It didn't look like it was that deep when we got into it, but got a pretty good run on it. That's what it looked like after. Got pretty much all we could get without getting it stuck. So sometimes the guys will also get time to read that little strip down there too. Right now, that's what we've got. But it was I think he's a couple days down there. It's a pretty slow process. And he hit it before the Mayflies game, so that was a bonus. Well, let's see. We've got some slow signs. We've been addressing, getting some more of them put out on Mason Hollow. I've still got one more to put up. I'm waiting on Julie for it. And then, of course, the maintenance that starts now. We got some pulleys go out on the mower deck and rinky dink stuff like that. Stuff that ties you up, slows you down a little bit. You know. So we got that put back together today. So knock on wood, all the mowers are back going again. About it. All right.
Hey, Jake, was the first slides over by the loading dock?
What is that?
First couple slides you had, is that over by the loading dock?
Yes, the first couple. That was on Water Street across from the church.
Thank you, Jake. All right, project administrator, Brittany Weber.
Hello, everyone. All throughout town, I'm sure you've seen these hanging in buildings. These are our building permits. Currently, we have 2 homes that are being built up in Grafton Hills. We have one that's almost completed, and then we have 2 that will be built within the next year. So you'll see more of these signs. And we have 4 businesses in town that also have these in the windows, and they're doing a lot of work. So if you need a building permit, please come ahead of time before you start to build, so we can get all of this squared away. And also, we've been trying to do our best for code enforcement, but it takes a community, so if everyone could help us out with that, that'd be good. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Brittany. All right, city engineer Scott's not here, but the city engineer keeps plugging on, and we're working on, of course, fixing the public boat ramp, and that's what he's got. Mayor's report. All right, this coming Thursday is Juneteenth holiday, a federal holiday. City Hall will not be open. So I'll be working though. I'm going to be going down to that Thursday. I'm meeting with our state representatives, C.D. Davids-Meyer, Amy Ellick, and our state senator, Erica Harris, and we're going to be discussing, along with George Andres, who's our ferry chairperson. And we're going to be talking about looking to get legislation to help us with the ferry as part of this project that we're working. As I said before, we're not ready to bring it to the council yet. But the attorney's had a stack of documents he's been running through. He's given me the nod that we're going to talk tonight about some of those. But we're plugging away at it. It's taking quite a bit, but we're making progress. I also want to talk about the fundraiser that we just recently had for the National Memorial. And that was up at the Grafton Legion Post 648. And it was a fantastic evening. Brittany Weber was the one that organized it. I was gone all day myself that day. I had to go up and brief the VFW at their state convention for the Legion, just as we did last year with the American Legion. So I got back just in time to have dinner, and she had everything laid out and done. It was fantastic. The place was packed. And the gentleman that you see standing next to me down there, his name is Mr. John Jadwinski. And the reason that is important is because of this right here. This is called a STAB boat. That's a Strategic Strike Assault Boat. In 1968, there were 22 of these boats that were built at the Grafton Boat Works. Grafton Boat Works, they designed them and they built them for a Navy contract. In 68, they had to have them done in 90 days. And these boats, they had ballistic armor on them, they had weapons, they had a lot of different things, and they were driven by 2 427 Chevrolet big block engines. And they were the fastest boats in Vietnam. And they were used up and down the Mekong Delta by the Navy SEALs. And they were used for infiltration and exfiltration. They would ride these things right up on the shoreline late at night, pull them off. And of course, they had muffler damplers, because you can imagine those would make quite a noise. So these boats served their service in Vietnam, and then they brought them back, and they were going to use them for sinking target ships out in so forth in the bay in San Francisco. But they were just a little too complicated to work on and so forth, so they basically sold them for scrap. Now, there was a young man that then was a 3-time veteran, and he was in Vietnam in an aircraft carrier, aircraft mechanic, and he did a lot of work on shore because sometimes the planes couldn't make it back to the carrier, so he had to go in to fix them. And somehow he got linked up with these boats. And And so the story goes that, as he told me, that one day he and his wife, after the war, he was home taking his wife out for a ride trying to find the Queen Mary in California. It was foggy, and they ended up in a junkyard. And as he looked up on top of a Connex, he saw this kind of boat, and he says, that kind of looked like what I saw. So he came back later, and he found on the boat a tag that, the tag on it that said made in Grafton, Illinois. So he didn't know where Grafton was, checked it out. So he spent the next 40 years tracking these boats down. He found a series of them. He became the expert on them. He bought over 5 of them, and he also bought some other different kind of boats, and he was featured in over 5 different films. The latest one was Saving Private Ryan, Apocalypse Now, Hot Shots Part 2, and all his boats were in those shows. Well, he is at the point now where one of these boats is fully operational and is in the SEAL Museum in Los Angeles, not Los Angeles, but San Francisco, California. There's another one in Minnesota, and there's one sitting in his backyard, fully operational, ready to go. And he's at the VF, at our American Legion that night. He made the speech that this boat was made in Grafton and it's coming home. He is donating this boat to the National Memorial Military Center for our museum. So Mr. Jadwinski, and those of you that were at the event that night, you met him. He's a wonderful man, and he'll be back in July, at the end of July, with the boat. So we'll set that up and we'll get a chance to look at it. All right, Parks and Development, Alderman Richard Mosby.
I have you can see Cindy Ann, who is planting flowers in one of her planters. She left me a note, so I'll read it. Grafton Streetscape Committee has purchased 8 earth planters so far. Planters are made in the United States with a lifetime warranty. Grafton Chamber donated $5,000 at their last week's meeting, so we'll be ordering more planters soon. If anyone would like to sponsor or co-sponsor a planter for the Main Street, please make a check payable to the City of Grafton Streetscape Committee. Drop it off at City Hall. And they do look very nice out there. And then the city's kind of needing somebody to take over their brick and bench program in Grove Park. So anybody who would be interested in taking care of that, it involves people requesting to purchase bricks or bench, and then taking care of it, ordering the bricks, dealing with the names. So if anybody would be interested in taking care of that program, just contact City Hall.
Okay, thank you. And I should say that part of what Cindy started with was where they were sitting around talking about, we applied for 2 grants for streetscape, and both of those were turned down, given to larger cities and so forth. But so they sat around one day and they said, we're tired of waiting, so we're going to start on our own. And they went out and they collected $3,400 on their own, just private donations from a bunch of people here in the town. And then, of course, thank you, Dan and the Chamber, for donating $5,000. So that brings up about $8,400 that they've got that they're working with privately donations. The city is managing the funds, holding them so that obviously, like we do with the food pantry and so forth, for oversight. But if you're so interested, please donate. And if you like to get your fingers and hands dirty, then get with Cindy and we'll get out there and give it. But they do look gorgeous. Thank you. Thank you, Richard. All right, Tourism and Marketing, Alderwoman Mary Jo Cody.
The visitor maps are finished and they should be delivered tomorrow or Thursday.
Great. And we'll get those out as soon as, Thursday we're off, but if they get in there, we'll have them available for you Friday to pick up. All right, Adopt-A-Lot, Alderman Jim Spencer.
Nothing to report there.
All right, Community Outreach, Alderwoman Donna Smith.
Tomorrow's the day again, senior luncheon. I'm gonna have a good group tomorrow, lunch planned. The big event for this summer, besides our senior luncheons, is our family fun night. Again, it'll be on Saturday, August the 2nd, from 6 to 9 o'clock in the evening. I met with Chris Petrie, who's chair of that event, and yesterday, and we talked about the things that we hope to put with that event this year. And so there are a lot of activities for the children and the family. We're going to do one of the big issues, or not issues, one of the big fun things last year was face painting. I can't tell you the number of kids who had painted faces and rock painting, so they can take something home from them. And we're asking for several pieces of equipment that we've had in the past, like the fire truck and a police car, etc., so the kids can see those kinds of things up close and personal. So we have a lot of things planned, and that's Saturday, August the 2nd.
Okay, thank you very much. There is no old business to conduct. Oh wait, I might miss somebody. Let's go back to our good friend, the Veterans Committee, Alderman David Hand. I was just seeing if you were awake, David.
No, Mr. Mayor, I have no updates other than the successful NMA event that you had, the fundraiser. We have really no updates.
All right, thank you very much. All right, no old business to conduct, and we have no actions under the review or taken under suspension of the rules. So may I have a motion to approve the City of Grafton's return to work policy?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion? Take the vote.
Mosby,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Spencer,
Yes.
Hand,
Yes.
Roy,
Aye. May I have a motion to approve the mayor's nomination of John Jadwinski as a commissioner for the NMMA?
So moved. Second.
Discussion. As you know, John is the one that is donating the vote for us. So let's take the vote.
Mosby,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Spencer,
Yes.
Hand,
Yes.
Roy,
May I have a motion to approve ordinance number 782, raising the number of liquor licenses from 17 to 18?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion.
Would, Helen like to speak to the council?
I would.
Please come to the microphone. Thank you.
I brought some papers just in case there are any questions, comments, or anything extra. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ella Mayberry, and I'm the proud co-owner of Cocoa May's Sunday Scoop here in Grafton, along with Kurt Gogolowski and Amy and Scott Mayberry. Thank you all for giving me the time to speak today. We're here to request approval for a liquor license that would allow for us to serve a curated selection of alcohol drinks. Think boozy snow cones, adult refreshers, and infused ice cream treats. Not a bar, not a cocktail lounge, just a new way to serve the people who are already coming to us and asking, can you put alcohol in us? This isn't about changing who we are. This is about becoming more of what Grafton needs, and what we keep hearing from locals, from tourists, from families, is that they want us to be open 7 days a week. They want breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert. They want something special that feels like it could only happen in Grafton. But here's the truth. Small businesses are struggling. Even the busiest days don't always make up for the slow ones. Our prices are competitive, our ingredients are premium, and we refuse to cut corners. A license like this gives us a chance to thrive, not just survive. It means more hours, more jobs, better wages, better tips, and the ability to keep our most important menu items, burgers, fries, and ice cream, affordable for the people who rely on us. This isn't just about alcohol, it's about sustainability. We aren't asking to become something we're not. We're asking for a fair opportunity to respond to the community we're already serving. Our shop is walk-up and drive-through only. Our staff is Bassett certified. Our alcohol would be served in a controlled, responsible way, and most importantly, it would never be the centerpiece of what we do. We're not another bar. We're creating an elevated experience for adults in a space that's already centered around families. Think of us more like a Clementine's Creamery, whimsical, welcoming, and with intentional with our offerings. We believe Cocoa Mays is uniquely positioned to bring more foot traffic, more revenue, and more energy to the east end of town without disrupting the atmosphere Grafton is known for. We live it, we love it, and we're all in. We're asking for a smart partnership with the city, one that gives people a reason to stay on our patio, not wander to other properties with outside drinks or food. Right now, we see it every day. Customers bring in beverages from gas stations or nearby shops just so they can enjoy time at Cocoa Maze. By allowing us to serve responsibly, we keep people on site, safe and satisfied, and supporting one business instead of scattering between several. That's a win for everyone involved. We also believe this license would strengthen the sense of community we're all trying to build. With more operating days, we're able to offer reliable employment for young workers and families. With more hours, we can support after-school jobs, build team structure, and serve as a dependable place to grab a bite any day of the week. We're not just creating food and drinks, we're creating structure, opportunity, and local pride. Grafton doesn't need more bars, it needs more small businesses that listen, adapt, and invest with heart. That's what Cocoa Maze does. Thank you for considering our proposal. If anybody has any questions, I'll answer as well. Note that.
How are you going to, separate, who's going to be serving the alcoholic?
Ellen, you want to step
I was
back
gonna
up?
say,
Who's going to be serving alcoholic drinks? Who's allowed? Are they all going to be 21 or do they have to be 21 to serve?
so you have to be 21 to serve alcohol in the state of Illinois. You are allowed to carry if you do have a basket license, meaning you could hand a cup to a customer, which is how I worked at the loading dock for a long time doing those kinds of things. So we have got a couple of plans in place. For one, our third window, we currently have 3 windows in the front of our business. The third window is immediately right now not in use. We've got big stickers that cover the window, it's closed at all times. Our plan is to open up that window to allow customers to come and receive their snow cone, their treat, whatever. No regular ice cream will be sent out of that window, therefore if a child is coming and walking up, you would immediately know, oh, you're at the wrong window, you need to go back over there. Another way that we will be able to keep things very tight is that I'm an on-site business owner. There's no manager in there who takes care of things on a day-to-day basis. It's myself and my partner, Kurt Gogolowski. We are in there 24/7. We're the only two with manager's license. We are also there's 3 of us who are 21, myself, my cousin and best friend Claire, who also works with us, and Kurt. We are also all 3 Bassett certified already and have worked in the industry and know how to serve responsibly and safely. We all know how to check IDs properly, and we are the 3 who will mainly be there. Alcohol will only be in service from probably about 11 to a certain time on the weekends, and same for the weekdays. It's not going to be a 24-hour thing where you can get it at any time, because it will be controlled very strictly. It'll be something that is very handled by myself and my partner mainly only. Any other questions?
You and I talked also about possibly doing something outside for a sitting area
Correct.
for the alcohol. Is that something that is possible? I mean,
Absolutely. Currently, we do have quite a few. How many acres? How big would you say it is in the back?
There's plenty of room. If it would morph into it, like I said, if it would continue and it grew and got stronger and there was a lot more need for it, there's a little space in the back of the property that's concrete now that we make a pavilion and an area that we want to go set back there.
Which we would absolutely be open to. And we've talked about that multiple times in the past. It's just hard to get the revenue to start that up. Ergo, having more revenue allows us to expand and do more things like that. And as well, we do have an Airbnb upstairs, so this also allows us to service them as well and kind of get some money and support other local businesses such as the Grafton Winery or Aries Winery, because I've always wanted to have those little baskets that you make up with the local wines and gifts and things, so that's another reason. But we're absolutely open to the idea of an outside little pavilion thing.
If I could say something, because Kurt and Ella do put so much time and effort into delivering quality food and drink items for your town, which we have several people now that come up from Alton. I mean, our regulars a lot are from Alton, they're not even people we know, but they're from Alton. If we could make, margins are tight, you all know that. Small business is very hard. We don't have a gaming license, we don't have ways to make big money. So for us, being a small business, let's say somebody bought a strawberry daiquiri on our patio, that's not gonna stop them from going to the bars and enjoying more afterwards, but if that gave us an additional, say, $8 on an order, that would make a huge difference to go business.
Any other questions, comments, concerns?
Have we talked to the other business owners, or what, are they gonna do this also, or not?
What's your question?
Well, the other shops, who are we gonna get liquor license to? Is there any requirement as far as our attorneys?
Well,
On who we can get one to, who we can't, I don't know.
Well, again, it's all on the thing is that if there was an extra liquor license available, then we would not be sitting here. It would be one of those where we'd go ahead and issue that if they met the criteria. But we don't have an extra liquor license, so you're creating one, okay, another one. And so I don't really understand your question. I know you've all talked with a lot of the different businesses, and you've had some input from your constituents and so on, so.
What is the criteria? Do they meet the criteria?
Yes, as far as the criteria, the one part that's sketchy is the food. You do have food, but you don't have indoor seating. You've got outdoor seating, and the outdoor seating is in a small area. It's not out in the back yet, but you said it was. But the rest of it's on public property. So, and again, that falls back into where when you look at it, it's a judgment call.
Right, absolutely. Which goes against another thing is we are very strict on our rules. As of right now, I don't allow smoking. My music has no cuss words.
No.
None of that would be changing. And like I said, I am the main person on site at all times. And it's my name on the business as well. So not only that, but I wouldn't want to tarnish my name either.
Can I ask one more?
Sure, go ahead.
Insurance, drum
Yes.
shop insurance.
Absolutely.
Covered.
Yep, we've
It's a
already
go
been
if
in
we
the
get
talks,
approved.
but yeah, we can't buy it until we got it. Yes.
They have everything ready, we just need a phone call to them, they would start it.
So we definitely have done our due diligence and really looked into everything that goes into this and how much of a big thing it really is. This isn't just oh, hey, why not? Here's something to try. This is something that we have thought about, and I've been thinking about it since last year even. But I just turned 21 last weekend, so we thought, you know what, kind of the perfect time to bring it in. But we do want to maintain our core family values. We do not want this to go into other bars or other things like that. If that were to become a problem to where, as we see a bunch of people are getting up and leaving and going everywhere, or people are coming to us saying that they are finding a problem with this, we would have no problem immediately putting something up to either a sign to make sure that nobody knows everybody knows they're not allowed to leave, and B, get in the process working a pavilion / structure in the back for people to sit in.
I think that would probably be an initial requirement that you'd have to, say no, liquor
Yeah.
off the premise.
Yeah.
What would be the difference though from other bars or businesses? Because I had no idea that this wasn't that the ordinance where you can walk around town with alcohol, because I see it constantly. So I had no idea that we didn't have this ordinance, honestly, until 2 days ago. So I don't know why we would be any different. What I could entertain is possibly we could look at doing some fencing. I wouldn't want it to go all the way up because I don't want to skew the Grafton Main Street. But we could be interested in something like that. But I see it all the time.
I fully understand. Like you had said, there's loading down.
Oh, absolutely. That's our common joke, because I love the look. I used to work there, and every time I worked there, people would go, I find these, and I'm like, well, sorry. It's all right, I can't help it, and it's just a common thing where I
I'd
almost
like to
feel
say
like that would count.
one more thing too. How this really got started was, our food takes a little while to cook. Kurt has everything fresh. It's 10 to 15 minutes every time somebody comes in. So most of the people who come there and order food, whether they sit there and eat it or they take it with them, they gotta sit there 15 minutes. So they're either getting a soda, they're getting ice cream, or they're getting something while they're waiting. There's a whole lot of parents that, it's not sitting and doing shots, it's having, a margarita
popsicle.
Popsicle, yeah, or something they do, which would help our revenue a bunch, gives them something to do for their 15 minutes, stay at their food and then leave. It's kind of how it's all got started, morphed into something.
As well, yeah.
But just another way for us to make a little bit of revenue
Ice cream treats
and not
some
hurt anybody.
people, but not all.
They, partly what you said a minute ago about other places where you see liquor being carried, but you're in the middle of a business area down here.
Exactly.
I guess that's a slight concern of mine is the fact somebody's carrying this around and they walk into one of the businesses here and oops, I dropped it, I spilled it, etc. I think it's
It's no different than them bringing an ice cream.
Yeah, it's so different ice cream or soda.
And also to point on that, a few of the businesses I have seen, some of them have no pets allowed, some of them have no food or drink. I know our neighbor definitely has that because she has very valuable items in there. But on the other hand is I really was hoping that this would help the East End town of business. What happens I see all the time is right now on Mondays, we actually just started opening on Mondays because Kurt and I kind of got tired of sitting up in the loft and seeing people walking around and going, and nothing was open. So finally we would stand up and go, hey, do you want ice cream? And we'd go down, open up the shop, turn everything on, give them ice cream and send them on their way. So we're hoping that by bringing another business, that's only going to bring more people there on Mondays to the east end of town. And hopefully those businesses will start opening up and be able to get more revenue as well. Because I know the Wicked Sister, she definitely tries to stay open a lot as well. And she's been trying to do the same thing just to make more money.
Well, I'd like to point out, we also opened March 1st because Grafton said we want all the businesses to open March 1st. So we would close January and February because there was no traffic.
Right.
Kurt and Ella wanted to stay open. They kept going the month of December. Finally, on December 20th, Scott and I called it and said, we're done. We appreciate your hard work, but we've got to stop the bleeding. We're done. We can't stay open. So in honor of Grafton's request, we did open March 1st. So the entire month of March, every hour that we were open, it was only Ella and Kurt. And in February, or excuse me, in April, same thing, only Ella and Kurt. We have to find ways that we can keep our employees. We have great employees, but we need to find different incentives. And we just think this would be a small way that we could increase revenue, stay open longer. We would love to be 7 days a week. We'd love to be year round, but
It's very hard to do.
well, we cannot do that at this point.
Just on ice cream and burgers. Unless we raise the prices, which we don't want to do it, because I love having all my local stuff there.
Mary Jo, you don't have anything? Richard?
Well, I've had a lot of businesses reach out to me, and it's all was kind of new to me, so I really haven't gotten to talk to everyone yet. But since I do represent the Main Street, I have got most of the businesses who were opposed to it. Not because of you guys,
Oh, no.
but because everyone loves your family and you guys. But they're just concerned because you bought an ice cream shop, and then, you know, even if you say that you're just gonna have snow cones or whatever, you're getting a Class A liquor license. You can do gaming, you can do shots out the window.
Right.
You could quit serving ice cream and start doing drinks.
Absolutely.
You could do anything you wanted with that license. So the concern is, I think with a lot of the people I've talked to, and I haven't really had the chance to talk, make all the calls back to people who have left me messages. I apologize, I've been out of town. But I think it's because there are so many licenses in Grafton, and if you give an ice cream shop, then we have another ice cream shop down on the next corner. So next month, are they in here saying, we'd like to get a liquor license, and then you have the coffee shop, and we want to put Kahlua and Bailey's in ours. So it kind of opens a can of worms, and I feel like people are nervous about where does it stop and how many licenses are we going to give away. And even though, you know, it seems harmless in I love Ella, I'm in the family, but it just seems like if we did give them this, then all the other Wilton Cattle Company, all the people who come to us next, how can you say no to them? When you said, you know, because they didn't buy a liquor license, they bought an ice cream shop. And so how do you decipher, like legally, you might know, I don't know, I'm just asking these questions for people. These are what the businesses have asked me, and I'm not sure what the answer is.
But I think we're talking a niche market. If the coffee shop wanted to have a liquor license, I think that would be great. People aren't gonna go there, they're gonna go there and get one daily or one fluid, then they're gonna go somewhere else. Same way with the ice cream shop, I believe, it's not gonna cut into any bar's margin.
But the thing is when you give a liquor license, you can't control what they do with it.
I don't disagree, but then again,
What's that?
why not? I mean, why not? If, once again, I think that there's such a niche market, the same way the coffee shop would be a niche market. That's not a destination. It's, oh, we can have a Kahlua here with a coffee. Oh, we can have a slushy snow coke. People aren't gonna sit there and get drunk on snow.
Yeah, but what I think people are afraid of is once you get a license, Jim, you can make it a bar. You can be a bar.
I realize that, but we just did that at the Tiki Bar.
No, we didn't do that. The Tiki Bar took over the Class A license.
Okay, they took over, but that opened up another restaurant, another liquor license, you know, I mean, an active liquor license.
They had a package license and they don't.
Yeah, so I mean that, and if someone else in town here had a house or if they wanted to open up a bar, a restaurant, would we stop them? Would we say no?
Well, that's what I'm asking, like at what
Well,
point
like
do you
you,
say
got
that
calls
I
also.
should, I have owned the company and can I open a bar in it? Like how many liquor licenses do, you know, that's something we need to talk about because, you know, nothing to do with them.
But it's no different than limiting, I mean, for a long time, they wanted to limit the number of bed and breakfasts or the overnight stays. But if you could, the market dictates what you can do. You know, if we were open year round, the shops would be open year round, and that's what, we'd have more shops if the market allowed it.
Well, and all I'm saying is that legally, you know, like I know it was called the Gold Bar, I believe, and they had a beer and wine, and they tried to get a Class A and couldn't get it. So legally, how do we give one person one, or do we just give everybody a liquor license? Like, then,
No, they have to meet the criteria, and there's a minimum criteria that they meet, but then again, it's judgment after that. So, you know, seating, food, you know, like your place, seating, food, and then, you know, liquor. So we don't have seating, right? And the seating that you have outside is on the edge of public. Now, you can say the same thing for the third chute down there. I mean, they're out on the sidewalk and everything, and people are crossing the street. Do they carry a beer some once in a while? Probably. But, you know, that's right down by those two bars down there. We're not supposed to be carrying alcohol up and down the streets.
Right.
And, you know, we've got our police officer in the back there. These guys, they control that. But again, there's on some of these very crowded weekends, it's hard to see that.
Right now, what we have, the seating we have is adequate for an ice cream shop. It's not, we don't have near the people that you have coming in and out of your place.
You're right, because I'll tell you, I went through there, was it, Ella, the other day? Lynn and I came through, got ice cream, great stuff. And as we went out, your porch was packed.
Oh, yeah.
Packed. I mean, and they're overflowing into the sidewalk and all that. So how are you going to segregate those that are, or if you do?
Okay. A few days a week it's that way, or a few days a month it's that way. You know, the real pretty days. You know, we're looking to fill in, you know, a lot more days.
And then the other point that Mary Jo is bringing up, and you know, this is kind of like plutonium. This has an afterlife. So if you decided after you get the Class A license that next month you decide to sell your business, guess what? The price went up because you got a Class A license, and that Class A license goes with the business, and they could turn, you know, they could turn it into a bar or whatever.
I thought it wasn't transferable, so it would be transferable with sales?
If they buy
If
the
they buy the business and they are qualified.
Which is another thing for you to also, I guess, I know that that is just my word, but there is no way I'd be selling my name. The business is not just our business, it's also my name and Kurt Gogolewski's name, and I would never allow anybody else to take control of that, ever.
Well, it's just if you put your building up for sale, it comes with a Class A if you get it. So then the people can, even if it has a different name, they're still buying your liquor license.
Right.
So they would have a Class A license.
Like all the other 17 that have it.
Yes.
So it's
So
no
I
different, no different than this.
Yeah, I feel like that
But,
one.
well, so what if they
What
wanted
if
to make
you
it a
sold
bar? What if they
tomorrow?
wanted to take the top off and raise it and put the bar?
That's been another thing about us as well, is we do have an upper deck, we have an Airbnb currently with a front patio that has steel beams in it, and it does have this porch where we could easily add on to that and extend up front and get I kind of wanted either a spiral staircase or maybe a slanted one going up on the side, but it could allow people to have a lower and upper deck to sit on.
Which would get them off the street if that's the.
Which, if that is a worry, we could make it to where we are only going to allow alcohol sales until we get our front porch, maybe only on the weekdays or something.
Okay, go ahead now.
Since I don't think we'll reach an immediate decision, I would like to make a motion to take the decision.
Well, we've already have a motion on the table, so, but, yeah, so you can't make, no, the motion is liquor license, so.
But I would say, I too have gotten calls from my end of town opposed to it, but they didn't give reasons. You know, at first they thought it would dilute because instead of 17, there'll be 18, and that would be a liquor license. But in me thinking through, once again, this is a niche. People aren't gonna sit there all day long, or like they do, come to the pub, listen to music, drink 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 beers, or mixed drinks, or going to the loading dock and spending the day there. Like I say, they're coming in, wait 15, 20 minutes to get their hamburger or their food, they have one drink and they're on their way. And I believe it's no different than if the coffee shop would want to do it. I would think that'd be a great idea for them, because once again, that's not gonna be a destination where that's gonna take business. It's gonna enhance the town, not be a negative to of the other business owners, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
but again, you're giving them a Class A license. You don't know that they're just gonna serve it in coffee. They could open a full-out bar.
Well, once again, if they had a restaurant or something like that, then yes.
Well,
And just like that, in my opinion, if they wanted to actually open a bar, get the upstairs and put a bar upstairs with a Class A liquor license, they should be allowed to, in my opinion.
We do feel that, Kurt and I do feel that we would be able to, keep up with that. It's not something we're trying to, like you said, take over or go anywhere. And if there were more bars, we do feel like the more the merrier in this town. Right now, we won Grafton's best day song, which in my opinion, yes, is a compliment, but also it raises the question of why are people not staying longer? Do we need more food? Do we need more drinks? Do we need more niches? More, activities for people to do maybe more Airbnbs, but that's something that Kurt and I have tried to look at. And from our point of view, just from our small business side, we realized that that is something, like he said, that is a niche that we could offer. We know of people who currently drive to St. Louis from here, Alton, Wood River, just to go to Clementine's because they've got easy ice cream like a sundae. And I was like, that's a very simple thing that is a very niche option. No matter how many ice cream shops are out there, not a lot of them have that. And I do understand the risk that you're taking, but I guess that is just a risk you have to be taking on us, and knowing that we are good people at heart and we do try to always do the right thing. And like we said, we don't cut corners on our business and we don't cut corners on our service as well.
Okay, well, I had a question from the back here. Jeff, did you have a question?
I think these are great.
Say it, could you speak up?
I think these are great people. She's doing a great job at ice cream. I built the ice cream shop. I think I'm going to tell you this. I came to Grafton in '96 to restore the Rupa Hotel. I came into I think there was 4 or 5 liquor licenses in Grafton when I came. I came to the city council Flo Rawlings is the only person I knew because she was, my sister-in-law was a Rawlings, so she introduced me to the council. And I said that I was wanting to rehab the Rupa Hotel, and I would like to have a liquor license. And so they said, well, and I said, this is what I'm gonna do. And I told them, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna spend $300,000 remodeling, and can I get a liquor license? And they said, okay, if you do all that, you can have a liquor license. They made me do certain things to get that liquor license. Remodel the hotel, do this, do that. I think a liquor license, and I had it wasn't the first liquor license I ever had. My brothers and I opened up a bar in Jerseyville, so it wasn't my first liquor license, and I was in my 40s. The other thing is, when I originally bought the property that's up at Rural Adventures, that was out in the city limits. We got a liquor license for up there. We had liquor, then we had 2 liquor licenses up there. I also, when I sold the Rural Hotel, I didn't sell the liquor license with it. But I've been paying on a liquor license for 25 years that I haven't used. Okay, and I did that because I thought there was a minimum liquor license in the community. My son bought the varsity club, I didn't, but bought the liquor license from my brother in Jerseyville. He had to do that because he only had so many liquor licenses. He had so many, and what that does is that keeps the value of the liquor license worth something. If you're going to just give a liquor license to anybody that wants one, and if I was the people that had the gold bar, or whatever that is down there that won the liquor license 2-3 years ago, I'd be suing the city of Grafton for not giving me a liquor license when I already had a Class B. You wouldn't give me Class A. I'm going to tell you another one that asked for a Class A liquor license that the city wouldn't give was Oliver Reedy. Oliver Reedy wanted a Class A liquor license down there at the O'Jan's, and the city of Grafton would not give him a Class A liquor license. So I'm not sure what we're doing here, but the liquor licenses are valuable, but when you start giving, because I think what this says is we're going to give as many liquor licenses in town as we can give. And we're going to have people, if we do that, we're going to have people running up down the streets with open cans of beer, and it's going to keep the cops busy doing all this. I mean, I'm not, if they had inside seating and a bigger, there's 400 square, no, there's 800 square foot in the bottom floor of that building. It's not big enough to have a liquor store. If you just want to run this liquor store, there's not enough space there to do this. I'm not saying
But Jeff, there's less square footage in what is the bar across from the Martini bar? That's at the Gold Bar, or what is that?
Bobby G's.
No, across from Bobby G's. What's that little?
Private club.
That's a house.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, that's private property.
Well, and they had a Class B and they wouldn't give them a Class A. So that's what I'm saying, the legality of, you didn't give them one and you didn't give O'Jan's one. You have a legal, liability also, like, and then say we decide to give them one, then, do we have to give everybody one, or how do you?
I mean, that's what it looks like to me, that you're gonna have to give everybody that wants a liquor license.
Because it used to be.
If you don't have a little better criteria, whatever the criteria is now, I don't think, to be honest with you guys, recognized, is that you have the criteria to have a liquor license, a Class A liquor license.
All right, go ahead, Brian.
You know, obviously there's a lot of different opinions and a lot of different motivations here. From a legal standpoint, obviously on my end of this, I need to do more research, but I think that it would be wise at this point to essentially table this because kind of piggybacking on what Jeff said, I believe that with what happened with the Rubel, there was a plan that Jeff undertook to be in strict compliance with the requirements of that.
We did pass out a plan, and I apologize, I did not give you one.
And that's perfectly fine. But I think that there are certain issues such as potential fencing in the front, so that you're able to at least control who's coming in and out with their liquor. More or less potentially the building out of the backside of the property.
Well, we own the property behind the gas station, so when we say in the back, we're not talking directly behind the 800 square feet.
They would
Jeff
technically
was
have to
speaking.
walk on Sharon's property to get to that back property.
Right.
There is an easement in it for both of us.
We have a concrete pad that is probably what, 100 by, I don't know, Jeff might know, 45. That's behind, directly behind the gas station.
Well, I understand that. I see there's a lot of different competing interests here.
Oh, I
And as opposed to holding a vote on it tonight, I think that would be wise that if, I'd like to review your business plan because of
I would like to hear that as well, if there is more criteria or anything, because that is something we could work on
Well,
meeting.
from a legal standpoint, I believe there needs to be strict compliance with the liquor licensing requirements. And so at the end of the day, obviously I will review this prior to the next meeting. I think it's in your best interest to abstain or withdraw the motion this evening. And table this until the next meeting. Give us a chance to do our due diligence on our end as far as legal research is concerned. But also, if there's going to be a requirement of more strict adherence, then we're going to need a detailed plan moving forward.
Sure.
So,
We'd be happy
just to kind of piggyback off of what Jeff said, I think that it's not in your best interest to have this vote tonight.
Okay.
Without allowing us to do a little more due
Which I don't want to involve all the information as well, so.
We could abstain. It does bother me that people from the west end
You'll withdraw for tonight.
are upset about the east end. I mean, I don't feel like we're any competition to them at all, but I understand. Looks like you guys need to
Well, the main
tighten up some.
Well, obviously, the main goal of the city here is not to restrict economic development in any way. Obviously, we all want the city to be prosperous in every way possible, and we don't want to restrict our businesses, but at the same time, we also have to be mindful of the rights of the businesses. And there's been precedent set by previous folks, and it's something that we need to maintain the integrity of those folks. And so to allow us time to look a little deeper into this and potentially come back with some discussion for you guys or some recommendations that might make your request for the liquor license more palatable for everyone
Because
else.
we would like it to be a sort of fair thing, because I do feel like a lot of the points being made are sort of cancel each other out with the trash and things like that, so I would like us to look at the criteria, because as far as I'm concerned, the people leaving with the alcohol and everything, I understand you need a fence for that, but everyone is bringing their alcohol onto our patios currently, and as you said, it's apparently public property, so it's already in.
Something that I find important is that, again, to piggyback off of Jeff's point, is that we can't get to a point where we're just saying anybody that applies for a license can get it, even if you're not in strict compliance with the requirements. So that's something where I think that we need to take a closer look from a legal standpoint, maybe give you guys some feedback as to what.
I can tell you, there'll be 10 people here at the next meeting asking for a Class A.
And we understand that.
And life is not fair, so if we get it, great, if we don't, great, if they get it, great, if they don't, great. So, thank you very much for your time, I really appreciate you all listening and discussing it with us, because we did want it to be a public discussion so that we could learn from it, to come back better if we need to or anything. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and withdraw the motion, and I'm gonna ask for a motion to table this until the next meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Gonna take the vote?
Mosby,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Smith, Spencer,
Yes.
Hand,
Yes.
Roy.
All right,
You know, this lasted 45 more minutes than we're used to.
this is the longest meeting we've ever had.
You
All right,
Well, that makes us feel better.
are there any items to be referred to the next meeting? Hearing none, may I have a motion to adjourn?
I I make that motion.
Take the vote.
Mosby,
Yeah.
Cody,
Yes.
Smith, Spencer,
Yes.
and
Yes.
Rory.
Great. Thank you all. Be safe going home. Yep.